Welcome to a little bit extra content from my channel. Free your narrative too. The Monster in Us All, I believe that's the name of it. This is the second time EC3, I believe, has done a pay-per-view of his own. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I believe it started with Moose. When he managed to put over Moose while they did their little business, and I believe it was at Bound for Glory, that this little piece of EC3's new pay-per-view actually came to being. When he put over Moose, and Moose went on that run, taking the TNA title, and then running with it and trying to make something out of it. And now, he has his own pay-per-view. Now, I think it was about $11 on Fight TV. And I decided, I was curious to see what the former Braun Strowman, Adam, aka soon to be known as Titan, was going to be doing. Now, here's the thing. I'll have an image or two of him right now on my face or on my shoulder. I don't know where. This was interesting. We got to see several wrestlers who are supposed to be going into the narrative. And what is the narrative? Control your narrative or free the narrative, as EC3 puts it. For so many years, this is what I'm getting. I could be wrong about this, but you guys tell me your perspective of what you've heard of EC3 narrative is. But because of how EC3, who worked his ass off, he worked hard, guys, let's be honest, at Impact Wrestling, tried to make himself marketable, showed that he was a lot more than what WWE was showing him when he went there originally, and was nothing to a jobber. Nothing but a jobber. That is what he was recognized as, and he left. Or more likely, they got rid of him. Went to Impact Wrestling, TNA, and busted his ass to prove that WWE was missing out on somebody. That he had something. As I've always said, people who are jobbers have to work hard, but also they got to be given an option to be shown. This is what a lot of promotions don't do. They don't always give someone who's new a shot. Like I said years ago when it came to SmackDown, and when it came to seeing Jinder Mahal as champ, it wasn't that I was happy to see Jinder Mahal, that I was a fan of him. It was that he was a jobber. And that he was finally given an option to show what he can do. Now, let's be honest. Jinder was never a great wrestler. He was never a great character. And he's not one of the greatest wrestlers around. He's not. But I was happy to see a wrestler who was considered a jobber given an opportunity. EC3 went away from WWE. And I believe he was in NXT briefly. Went to TNA. Made his mark. Showed that he was highly marketable. Finally went his butt back into WWE. Worked his ass off, and I believe he was in NXT briefly. And then, he was in NXT, not for very long, briefly. And then went onto the roster. And within 2 months, if you ever seen the video pack, that whenever he was coming out from his entrance, how excited he was. How excited he was when his name was brought up into the Titantron. After just 2 to 2.5 months, he was like, his soul was crushed. Done. He had no more interest because the WWE didn't give a fuck about him. They didn't give a fuck. One, Vince don't like NXT guys because of how Triple H trained them, or how they were trained before they went to Triple H. And two, someone just didn't see him beyond what he was. When he first appeared, Triple H saw him for what he was on TNA. He saw that he went away after he came to WWE, where he was really green, went and seasoned himself and worked hard to prove that he was marketable to the company. Came back. Triple H realized it and put him in a lot of segments in NXT early days that showed he had great ability and potential. And the moment he went on the roster, they just saw him exactly as he was when he first arrived in the company. Nothing. So once he disappeared, went back to TNA, Impact Wrestling, he reimagined himself as someone who was basically trapped within one little bitty box that was created by the current industry of the WWE and general wrestling. He wanted to break out of the box. That's where Control Your Narrative came in and free the narrative that is of this name of this pay-per-view. So let's fast forward to what you care about. Titan, formerly known as Braun Strowman. Let's make this clear. Was it amazing acting? No. Wasn't amazing acting from Braun Strowman or Adam. What happened at one point, seeing him cry? He can cry. Anybody can cry. He bled. Anybody can bled. But this wasn't about how good of an actor he was and how good he could bleed. This is about EC3 making it clear, if anybody saw this or heard of Free Your Narrative 2, that you would see Braun Strowman, Adam in a new light. They will show this. If he is going to Impact Wrestling, they will take snippets of this, because EC3 will probably let them, and throw it onto Impact Wrestling as a vignette. Just like what happened with Moose. In this situation, I truly believe they're going to show this proper bit of him trying to reimagine. How can I say this? Because I'm not excited about Adam yet. I don't know if, because he looks great. Before he didn't really have many, he wasn't cut like he is now. The guy is cut. He worked very hard. And if you've seen the video with him and Rachel Gonzalez, the current NXT champion, she basically wanted to fuck his ass. She wanted to have his dick stuck up her and say, love me, baby, love me more. The way that she was acting. Now, mind you, it doesn't mean she was. That doesn't mean they're together. But the way she was acting on Twitter, it made you think those two were together, and she was enjoying his ass and can't wait to get something stuck up her. But the point of this is that this content here, some of it could be included at Bound for Glory. So if Titan is coming in at Bound for Glory with Wyndham Rotunda, because I've looked at NoDQ.com, and people still don't know if he's still going to AEW. There's still rumors that he might not, and he may go to Impact Wrestling. It's still rumors. They may not be in AEW in the future. It may be Impact. I don't know. But there are still rumors also with Adam. He could be going to Impact Wrestling. So if I'm seeing it from perspective, what is this for Adam? This is actually a good thing. Because he was willing to do something entirely different. Now mind you, he's still Adam. He's still Braun Strowman. He still has the same mannerisms. He still has most of the same movesets. But with a new coat of paint and a new promotion, he could change himself into something completely different and make himself way more marketable than he was when he was in WWE, when they literally had a shot with him when he was red hot. No matter if you like him or not. No matter if I like him or not. At one point, he was so damn over. They could have thrown the title on him and it would have worked. No, they did not. They waited so long before they finally did anything with him. It didn't work. Period. So here, with a different coat of paint and a different promotion with a different writing team, which, honestly, Impact Wrestling writings are mostly the same as WWE in some respects. In some respects, not completely, because the writers are different. They do at least, I will say this about the writing team at Impact Wrestling. Are they stupid in many cases? Yes. I'm not going to lie about this. Impact Reddit, you know, for years I've been talking about how Impact Wrestling's writing team and creative sucks. Because they act stupid in many cases or won't do what they should have done months ago because either someone didn't think about it or they finally thought about it and they implemented it so badly wrong it was stupid. But they do have their moments. I won't lie about that. I've never lied about that. There are moments where they actually have done good to great work compared to WWE, who has 10 times their budget. But here, there's a good possibility if, just like if Wyndham Rotunda does come to Impact Wrestling, Adam, formerly known as Braun Strowman, could be booked properly, could But you got a big problem here. Madman Fulton, W. Morrissey, Moose, Joe Doyling. You got a lot of big guys on the roster right now. And now you're going to have Adam, possibly known as Titan. That's going to make 5 big guys. 5. And if I'm forgetting another big guy, well, I couldn't count Shira. Shira isn't one of the biggest guys, but he's bigger than many of them. 6 possible big guys there. 5 confirmed. That is a lot of big guys that's going to be on a roster of Impact Wrestling, where there's some small to medium guys, counting on how many are actually there. There's not a large roster in Impact Wrestling right now for men. It's still pretty small for the mid-card and the X Division. They don't got a lot of X Division guys. They got very few. Very few guys for the X Division. A few tag teams, and the rest just float on and off. So I don't know what will happen with him. They really need better writers, and they also need more people for the divisions they have, for the tag division, the X Division, and the world title. I just don't see enough people there. There's so many people going back and forth. There's no clear division. Now, of course, you can cross over. There's no problem. But still, there's so few people. And with the key of when you finally do bring in people, you need good writing to go with them. This is what you don't get, guys. There's a lot of you don't get. You say, well, if they're not good, it's because they don't have enough talent. Well, guess what? They don't have enough talent because in most cases, what talent is going to go to a promotion where they know they're not going to do anything? Remember, guys, the company that you're dealing with has to have 2 things: a budget and good writing. Good promoting writing. If they don't have good creative writing and they don't have a budget for the people, you're always going to end up like Impact Wrestling. So maybe, just maybe, Impact may have finally a budget that can work to get in another 5 to 10 guys. I hope. And the most important, along with the budget, is to have more creators on their writing team that can think outside the box and give us something new or a reimagining of several types of stories. If it's the same stories, doing the same thing, not making it interesting, we will end up as we are now. But I'm just saying, here is Free the Narrative 2. I hope you enjoy it. Mind you, there was a lot going on there. There was a lot of violence. I'm not going to talk about everybody else. This was just about Braun Strowman only. The rest was pretty good. I won't lie about it. There were funny moments in there. The guy who looked like something from 1900 with the frilly mustache and beard on his mask, that was damn funny. He's actually kind of funny, that guy. Don't know his name, but he was damn funny. But it wasn't a bad pay-per-view for about $10 to $11. It wasn't. Peace.